This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Right now at 6 on Good Morning Indiana.
We believe over the next couple years it's going to drastically reduce some of the gun violence in our community.
Every gunshot leaves a forensic fingerprint. We're going inside the lab, connecting hundreds of guns to hundreds of people. Why those behind the trigger should be concerned.
Decreasing crime and freeing up jail space in the Circle City is a big job. We're working for you with how community leaders are working to fix an overcrowded Marion County jail.
The race to get on the 2020 ballot is heating up. Why political analysts say a Hoosier candidate could create shockwaves when the first voters cast their ballots.
Itching to spend that Christmas cash? This morning, we're breaking down what you should rush to the store for and what you need to hold off on so you don't waste your money.
All right, we are 7 days into the new year. It's 6 o'clock here on our Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us on Good Morning Indiana.
And I do have a little bit of Christmas cash, and I just don't know how to spend it yet.
I think maybe you could split it in two, give
Yeah.
some to Lauren, some to me. Wait, I'm sorry, split it in three so that we can also give some to our Alyssa Donovan,
over here.
who deserves a bit of a tip this week due to our good forecast.
Yeah, we've had some pretty nice weather. Temperatures today are going to be above average again. We're starting a little chilly this morning, similar to what we saw yesterday morning. Temperatures right now in the low 30s and upper 20s. It's 30 degrees in Indianapolis. We have cloudy skies to start today, and we are going to see that clear out as we head into the afternoon. We had that disturbance that moved through yesterday, bringing us that cloud coverage. All that precipitation, though, stayed well to the south of us, and it's going to continue to stay well to the south today. What's happening next is we have high pressure that's going to build in throughout our day today. What that's going to do is clear out those clouds, and it's also going to cause a little bit colder conditions overnight tonight and into our Wednesday morning. So it's going to be a chillier start to Wednesday. Today, however, starting with those upper 20s and low 30s, highs will reach the mid 40s this afternoon with some sunshine. It's going to be a breezy day with those winds shifting out of the west about 15 miles per hour. We'll see gusts, though, close to 25 miles per hour this afternoon.
All right, Alyssa, thanks so much. Let's plan out your drive. Here's a live look over on the west side of town, I-465 and West 10th Street. Lots of headlights out that way, as you can see, and traffic's traveling up to speed in both directions. No issues to slow you down. So let's take a look at your commute over here on the west side, this time on I-70 traveling eastbound from the Ronald Reagan Parkway to I-65 at the south split. It's a 12-minute drive. No delays right now for your Tuesday morning commute.
IMPD and Fishers Police talking about the work going into catching the three suspects behind a deadly crime spree in Marion and Hamilton counties. Richard Garrett, DeLance Hatcher, and Rashano Farrow are facing charges for 13 different violent crimes. The law enforcement agencies credit the Crime Gun Intelligence Center with helping investigators connect the cases. So far, the center has tested thousands of guns, leading to hundreds of arrests.
And every time that a gun is shot, criminals leave behind the evidence which the crime lab is piecing together. So let me take you to where the work to cut crime is done. This is not a shot in the dark.
Each box loaded with the potential to trigger an arrest and solve a crime. This, a .45 caliber with 10 rounds. This, a 9mm pistol with 17 rounds. Weapons police recover come to the Marion County Crime Lab. Through a series of forensic tests, detectives are alerted if a gun used in one crime is connected to another. In the past, that information could take weeks. Now the results come back within a few days.
Our detectives start working backwards to find out who is the trigger puller.
The lab plays a critical role as part of the Crime Gun Intelligence Center, which includes a number of agencies like the ATF, U.S. Attorney's Office, the Marion County Prosecutor's Office, and the Fishers Police Department.
Fishers Police Department recovered a gun that was used in one of our 2013 homicides. And we got that information back quick. That's not information we have gotten back in a timely manner under the old way of doing things. This really is a game changer for the city of Indianapolis.
The work in the lab and the partnership among law enforcement have led so far to 339 arrests, connected to 254 weapons.
Their whole goal is to disrupt the shooting cycle. The quicker we can get the person or the gun off the street, we prevent the next shooting.
And Raphael, you're telling me what is happening here in Indianapolis is getting national attention.
And that's because they're getting results. Other cities have shown an interest in what's happening here in the Circle City, including police departments in Cincinnati, Ohio, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Now, more details on the crime lab. They tested 3,124 weapons just last year. In 2018, it was 2,796 weapons. The Crime Gun Intelligence Center has been officially up and running since January of 2019. But of course, Meredith, they've been doing that kind of work for a number of years now. It's just organized, and now they can get results much quicker.
All right. Hopefully this will solve a lot of crimes people maybe have been waiting years for. Raphael, thank you. We have more on this story right now at theindychannel.com. 3 weapons are off the street, and violence may have been prevented thanks to concerned neighbors. Kokomo police say they confiscated 2 handguns with extended magazines and a mini AK-47 pistol in Studebaker Park Sunday after getting several phone calls about people in the park instigating a fight with guns. When officers arrived, they found the guns near a picnic area and arrested 1 person. Lauren.
And keeping on that crime beat, as the 2020 legislative session continues today, the Fraternal Order of Police will present the facts of crime in our capital city. Working for you, RTV6 spoke with the president of the FOP. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with a closer look at the violence, which doesn't seem to be slowing down. Kelsey.
That's right, Lauren. It doesn't seem to be slowing down. And already, just in 2020, 7 days in, there's been 3 murders in Indianapolis, and the president of the FOP, Rick Snyder, says he doesn't see it slowing down without big changes being made. Snyder tells RTV6 our capital city is in crisis, and it will take a group effort to start making real changes. He's making several recommendations to curb the violence in our city. He wants to establish a commission on criminal justice outcomes so bond policies can be reviewed and those accused of violent crimes will stay behind bars. He also wants the city to look at the juvenile justice system, but mandates on the number of jail beds in Marion County to prevent overcrowding. And he believes creating a public database to track criminal histories will help with this violence problem we're having.
I have to tell you, we are facing this surging level of violence, and there's no signs of it slowing down. Proof positive, we've already had 3 murders in the beginning of this year already, the first week.
Today, the FOP will present the facts on what's really happening in our city to state lawmakers in hopes that they will see just how serious the problem is. Yesterday, Snyder had a meeting with Governor Eric Holcomb here at the State House, but he says it's going to take a bigger meeting with bigger leaders to get real change made here in Indianapolis. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
The time now is 6:07. Let's take you to Johnson County for an update on a story that we followed all day Monday. After more than 10 hours, first responders say they've located the body of a Bargersville man following a well collapse. This all started on County Road 225 North around noon yesterday. Authorities say that 56-year-old Douglas Abney was working 15 feet below ground when the walls caved in. The Johnson County Sheriff's Office says that deputies could not see Abney and decided it was too dangerous to go into that trench. What caused the well to collapse is still under investigation.
2 women and a baby on their way to church are dead after a truck driver is accused of driving into backed up traffic on I-65 near Whitestown Sunday afternoon. People who drive through the area where the crash happened tell RTV6 that there have been traffic issues in this location before. Traders Point Christian Church draws thousands to the area each week. A spokesperson for the church tells us they work with local police departments to control traffic flow, but some say that's not enough.
Whitestown's been the largest growing community in Indiana, I think, for the last 3 years. So yeah, it's definitely seen a lot more backup than when I moved into this area.
Between 2012 and 2015, INDOT added additional travel, turn, and exit lanes. They now plan to add a new exit at County Road 500 South and redo the State Road 267 interchange. An INDOT spokesperson says this will help relieve some of the traffic issues, but drivers still need to do their part as well.
You have to, as drivers, drive and put those distractions down. Pay attention, your full attention on the roadway each and every time we get behind that wheel.
Traders Point Christian Church has released a statement surrounding the crash. You can find that on the RTV6 app. That's where you can also find all of our coverage for this story.
The time now is 6:09. It's the first full day of a new era out at the Speedway. The historic Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the IndyCar Series are now officially owned by this man, Roger Penske. On Monday, the sale of both properties finalized. Back in November, we first learned of the pending sale when Penske and Tony George both spoke at this news conference. The track had been in the Holman George family since 1945. Penske is now just the fourth owner of the track in the history of it. And in a statement, he said, quote, "We are looking forward to carrying on the tradition of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and IndyCar racing." As a car owner, Roger Penske has won the Indy 500 a record 18 times. And congratulations goes out this morning to the Butler University men's basketball team. They are on a historic high. The Bulldogs are ranked number 6 in both major polls that were released on Monday. In the AP poll, that is the highest ranking in the history of Butler's program. The team is 14-1 after Saturday's win over Creighton. The Bulldogs' next game is set for Friday night at Providence.
At 6:10, let's talk politics, turning now to Democracy 2020. In less than a month, Iowa will weigh in on the field of Democratic candidates. However, Indiana voters will go to the polls in May to pick who they would like to see on the Democratic ticket. Several candidates have dropped out over the last few weeks, as you know, but a Hoosier, former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg, is still in the running. We spoke with ABC News political director Rick Klein, who gives his insight on who may begin to move up in those Democratic polls.
And the big story really is Mayor Pete Buttigieg, former mayor now from South Bend, who has an opportunity to shock the political world a month from now in Iowa. If he were to win that, it would change the complexion of his candidacy and maybe dictate the terms of the rest of the primaries that ensue after that.
Put this on your calendar. Indiana's presidential primary is Tuesday, May the 5th. The Democratic Party will officially pick its candidate during the DNC convention in mid-July.
Governor Holcomb announcing 2019 was another record-breaking year for economic development in Indiana. The Indiana Economic Development Corporation secured 296 commitments from companies to locate or grow in the state. These businesses plan to invest nearly $8.5 billion in their Indiana operations and create more than 27,000 new Hoosier jobs. The average wages equal $28.60 an hour, or nearly $59,500 a year.
Well, lawmakers are back in the nation's capital this morning, new at 6:14, when we can expect to see some movement from the House and the Senate in President Trump's impeachment trial.
This behind me is simply devastating. Nearly 15 million acres are damaged from those fast-moving wildfires in Australia this morning. New at 6:16. Why officials say it could be a while before things are under control. But first, let's check in now with Alyssa Donovan.
And we are seeing mild conditions to start out our work week. Temperatures today once again above average with dry conditions, but things change as we head into the second half of the work week. Rain chances on the way. I'll break down everything you need to know coming up.
Today at byrider.com.
It is 6:15 on your Tuesday, and we are monitoring a traffic alert for drivers to our northwest right now. This is a live look at a crash we're monitoring in the right shoulder of southbound I-65 near the Hendricks County line. This is to our northwest near the Dogleg area. Traffic is slow due to the right lane being closed in this area. You can expect this crash to take a little while to clear up. NDOT estimating around 45 minutes at this time. As you can see, traffic is just creeping by in the left lane.
The full Senate is back in Washington for the new year. The House will return later today. That means we could soon see some developments in the impeachment trial. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi still hasn't sent the articles of impeachment to the Senate, and she hasn't indicated when she will. But the House might appoint case managers this week, which is the next step in the process. Democrats and Republicans are at odds over how the trial will proceed. One of the biggest sticking points is if witnesses will be allowed.
The state of Illinois just began the sale of recreational marijuana in the new year, and there's already a shortage there. Several dispensaries were closed Monday, with owners saying they didn't have enough supplies. In the first day of legal sales, customers spent about $3.2 million. Indiana State Police remind Hoosiers that it's still illegal to bring marijuana back into the Hoosier state, even if you buy it in a state where it is legal.
At 6:16, a potentially groundbreaking lawsuit against the Boy Scouts of America is now on its way through federal court. A team of lawyers are hoping to establish Washington, D.C. as a place for men across the United States to go that may have been sexually abused by Scoutmasters as kids. Right now, 8 men are part of this suit. All of the men live in states where the statute of limitations laws would keep them from suing over claims that happened years ago. The District of Columbia eased its law this past year on that, making lawsuits like this possible.
Australian states deal with bushfires every year, but this fire season is different, bringing widespread devastation to the country. Nearly 15 million acres have been scorched across Australia's 6 states so far this fire season. Australian insurers estimate more than $480 million in losses so far this fire season. At least 24 deaths have been confirmed, with most of the casualties in New South Wales. The Australian Defence Force is calling on a few thousand Army Reserve forces and others, including 20 veteran California firefighters with the Angeles National Forest crew.
It's just what I love to do. I love fighting fire, and I want to hopefully help the Australians out there, and hopefully we do our due diligence as we should as a country here, and get out there and get to work.
A professor from the University of Sydney estimates 484 million animals across New South Wales were killed in those fires. Absolutely devastating. And I read something interesting yesterday, that it is so difficult to put these fires out because of the oil in the eucalyptus trees there. Whereas here in the U.S., we don't have those trees, and you just have pine trees or something like that you're dealing with, which don't fuel the fires as much. So a lot of challenges ahead for them there in Australia.
A major environmental disaster there. Of course, the time now is 6:18. We're looking at your current conditions. And Alyssa, things are looking back to normal in those numbers behind you.
That's right. At least our morning lows, our daytime highs are still a bit above average. We've been spoiled the past couple weeks with 60-degree temperatures for our daytime highs and 50-degree temperatures for our daytime highs. Today, we're in the 40s for our daytime high. Usually, we should be into the 30s, and that's where we're starting this morning. 30 degrees in Indianapolis right now. Kokomo at 25, Bloomington at 26. You can see we have cloudy skies right now. That's helping warm us up a little bit. We have those clouds insulating us from any cool, dry air that's filtering in. As we head through the day, we are going to see those winds pick up. They are light right now across the area, and we are going to see them out of the west, about 25-mile-per-hour gusts later this afternoon. Those sustained winds will be close to about 15 to 20 miles per hour. So you will notice it's a breezy day today. The good news is with those winds is they're going to help push out any cloud coverage we have. So we're starting with cloudy skies this morning. We had that disturbance that moved through yesterday. That just brought some precipitation way to the south of Indiana. The rest of us, though, saw dry conditions overnight, and we're going to continue to see dry conditions over the next 48 hours or so before we see some changes coming our way. Today, however, clear skies by the noon hour, temperatures reaching the low 40s by noon, and then we'll continue to see sunshine and a bit of a warming trend as we head into the afternoon, climbing into the mid-40s later today. So about 10 degrees above average. Usually our high this time of year, about 35 degrees. So well above average. Tomorrow, though, it's going to be closer to those average temperatures. We have high pressure taking control tonight, clearing out those clouds, which means by tomorrow morning, temperatures will start in the low 20s. That's really where we should be to start our January morning. And then we are going to see those temperatures just into the mid-30s for our daytime highs on Wednesday. Behind this, we have a low pressure system that's moving in from the north on Thursday. This first system, there's going to be 2 that impact us over a 3-day period. This first one will move through late Thursday afternoon, bringing us plenty of rainfall, looking at the potential of light rain on Thursday and possibly some gusty winds. Friday, we turn to this other low pressure system that's to the south of us. What that's doing is helping bring up some moisture from the Gulf. That's going to bring us us plenty of rainfall Friday night and into Saturday. So that will continue as we head into Saturday overnight. By Sunday morning, we could even see some snow flurries mixed in there. By the time this is all said and done, we have the potential of picking up almost 4 inches of rainfall. Now, this is just one of 4 different models that we look at when it comes to rain. This is the higher totals that we're seeing. I just want to show you worst case scenario when it comes to that rainfall we could see, which is why we do have the potential of some flooding this weekend. Just be aware of that. Temperatures today, though, will be pretty good. We're going to see a nice day. Temperatures starting in the 20s this morning. We'll climb into the mid-40s this afternoon with plenty of sunshine later today. Some breezy conditions, though, with those winds out of the west, up to 25-mile-per-hour gusts. Tomorrow, that's our cold day in the forecast, 36 for our high. Still plenty of sunshine, though, and then afternoon showers start on Thursday.
All right, Alyssa, thank you so much. I want to show you this traffic alert we have for drivers right now coming in from the northwest side. Camera's frozen here, but you see the flashing light up there ahead. We have stopped traffic due to a crash in the right shoulder, partially blocking the right lane of southbound I-65. This is near the Hendricks County line, so the area kind of just south of I-865. That's where we're seeing these backups this morning. I do have a report that there are injuries and that someone may be trapped inside of a vehicle in this area, so this is something we'll keep our eye on, and of course we'll keep you updated this morning. We do want to bring you out to our live drive vehicle right now, keeping a close eye on the roads, showing you what you can expect over on the west side. Right now, our photographer Shay Goodpaster is traveling westbound on I-70 near the Indianapolis International Airport, so if you're heading out to catch a flight, maybe dropping someone off the airport this morning, the roads are clear in that area, so that is great news.
Losing weight might be one of your goals for 2020. New at 6:25, how one Florida man is using his weight loss journey to serve his country. That and much more coming up right here on Good Morning Indiana.
I'm aware of that.
The time now is 6:25 and trending at 6. Good Samaritans can be found anywhere in the country. I know there's so many good Hoosiers out there that would do anything for you. But let's take you to New York State, where Governor Andrew Cuomo is being called the state's hero in chief. He was on the Brooklyn-Queens Expressway headed to the airport, which is quite busy based on my experience, when he came upon a large van on its side. As you can see, the state police cut the man out of his seatbelt, and in the video you can also see the governor and 2 other people pull the man out of the vehicle to safety. This all happening on Monday morning.
Wow, that is crazy. Right place at the right time for him, I guess.
Indeed.
Well, as those tragic wildfires out in Australia continue to burn, people are looking for different ways to help. The Animal Rescue Craft Guild used their crafting skills to help in emergencies all across the world. Look at these pictures. Right now, they're busy working to knit items like bird nests and pouches for orphaned kangaroo joeys. They're also sewing mittens for injured koalas.
I know how to sew.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, we have a lot of yarn at my house. So.
Yeah.
I can't knit, but I can sew.
There we go. All right. Well, this is a great story. A Florida man using his weight loss journey to serve our country. 28-year-old Christian Montijo weighed 350 pounds at one point. So by meal prepping and lots of walking, he burned off 160 pounds. The father of 2 accomplished his goal and joined the Army in October. This morning, he will report for basic training.
Wow.
Just incredible.
That's
Thank you
awesome.
so much to him for serving our country. And what an inspiration.
I know, in the new year, all of us,
on
trying to
multiple
get our
fronts,
resolutions.
serving your country. And, you know, weight loss is truly difficult for many people.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
his story may inspire someone this morning. So an inspiration, again, on 2 fronts. So
Awesome.
you inspire us every day.
Yeah, here she is.
So, yeah.
You know what? And I have an inspirational forecast today. Temperatures, how about that? Temperatures are starting a little chilly this morning. As you head to the bus stop with the kids, you might want to bundle them up to start out. But by the afternoon, you could go with the light jacket because it's going to be a beautiful day later today. We're starting with some cloud coverage. Those clouds will clear out by this afternoon. We'll see mostly sunny skies. Highs about 10 degrees above average in the mid-40s. So it's going to be a great Tuesday. We do have some rain in the 7-day forecast. All of those details coming up.
Alyssa, thank you so much. The holidays, as you know, are over. And it's likely that you have some cash or those gift cards just laying around the house and you're itching. You can't wait to spend all of that money.
Yeah, maybe it's some returns and you have some cash at those stores you need to spend. Well, this morning, our John Matarese is working for you, breaking down what you should buy now and, Raphael, what you should wait on for later.
Do you have some gift cards from the holidays that you need to spend? Or maybe the January sales are enticing? Well, then you may want to know about some great things to buy this month and a few things to avoid. The savings website dealnews.com says a lot of people are just looking forward to recovering from holiday shopping, which is fine, except that you could end up missing some great January sales. Deal News says January is a great month to buy winter clothing. It's already being marked down, and you still have 2 or 3 months to wear it. Also, January is a great time for white sales on bedding and furniture. And mid-January is a great time to buy big screen TVs as Super Bowl sales get underway. Finally, if you're looking for a bed or furniture, you'll find a few January sales, but some of the biggest sales of the year will be next month during President's Weekend in February. And that way you don't waste your money. I'm John Matteries. Good morning, Indiana.
John, thank you. Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Tuesday morning, here is a look at your 6:30 news feed. New information overnight after a well collapsed down in Johnson County killed a man. Emergency crews responded to a home on County Road 225 North in Bargersville on reports of a man trapped inside of a well. After 10 hours, they recovered the body of 56-year-old Douglas Abney.
A suspect in a homicide case on the west side of Indianapolis is in custody this morning. Police arrested Lyman Spurlock for Sunday's shooting death of LeSean Parker. Parker was found dead in a neighborhood near 10th and Raceway. Prosecutors will review the case and make a charging decision.
A trial continues this morning for a man accused in the murder that happened in 2018. John Woodcock is accused of killing Heather Mandujano inside a home on Indy's southeast side. Prosecutors say the woman was trying to stop an argument between Woodcock and another man when she was shot. Testimony in the murder trial gets underway on Monday.
A man is in custody after a shooting that led to a standoff on the north side. Officers called out to this home on Marquise Lane near 79th Street and Township Line Road. A shooting victim found on the sidewalk say that he was shot by a friend. Well, that led to a SWAT situation with the suspect. That suspect was taken into custody shortly after 7 o'clock last night.
We're learning more details on the closing of an anchor store at Washington Square Mall. Burlington says it will end operations on January 24th, and all employees have been made aware of the situation. The store began its closing sale this past Friday. Burlington's departure will come after the closing of Dick's Sporting Goods store on Monday. Well, if you're in need of a good coat this morning, I guess you can head on over to Burlington and grab one because it's cold out there.
It is chilly to start today. Temperatures are in the 20s. So well, let's keep in mind that's where we should be this time of year. Okay. We have been spoiled rotten with the nice weather. Over the past couple weeks, we're getting back closer to average. We're still above average today. Starting as we head to work this morning in the upper 20s and low 30s. Cloudy skies, a little breezy out there as well, but you'll notice that chill in the air. That will go away though as we head into the afternoon. As you head home, 45 degrees for our daytime high. We'll see some gusty winds out of the west. Those gusts close to about 25 miles per hour. And then we are going to see mostly sunny skies today and into tomorrow as high pressure takes control. So what's going on right now is we're starting with that cloud coverage. We had that disturbance that moved through yesterday, but now high pressure is going to take over today. That's going to clear out a lot of our cloud coverage, which is going to cause a cooler start to our Wednesday, but today will be a pretty good one. Temperatures will start in the 20s and will climb into the 40s this afternoon. Tomorrow in the 30s, a cooler day for Wednesday. Looking ahead, Thursday and Friday, we have plenty of rain. Those temperatures climbing close to 60 degrees.
All right, Alyssa, thank you so much. We are monitoring a crash with injury reported here on the northwest side. You're looking live at I-65 near the Hendricks County line. So this is up in the Dog Lake area, a little south of I-865 is where we're monitoring those delays. The right lane is blocked. Traffic moving slowly in the left lane. The camera's frozen right here, but it is just creeping along right there, causing some major backups for northwest side drivers. That is a spot we'll continue to monitor for your morning commute. For now, let's take a live look at a different spot from our live drive vehicle. Our photographer Shay Goodpaster in the driver's seat. This is a dash cam view of eastbound I-70 traveling through Plainfield. You can see traffic in this area is open, traveling smoothly. We'll continue to keep our eyes on the roads. And as we continue to follow that crash on I-65 involving a semi-truck that left 3 people dead this past weekend, we're hearing from a truck driver who tells us there's no reason anyone should ever take their eyes off the road. Wayne Baumgartner has been driving since 1981. He spoke to us as he passed through central Indiana. He says much of the responsibility to prevent crashes falls on truckers.
You just can't barrel down the road at, 70 mile an hour going through, rush hour traffic. You just can't do it. You got to slow up.
Well, Matthew Small here on your screen is the man authorities say is responsible for Sunday's crash. He told police he didn't see traffic backing up because he was putting down his coffee mug. Small now is being charged with reckless homicide. The semi-driver charged in the crash, Matthew Small, asked Boone County Sheriff's Department to release this note you see on your screen. It reads, "My heart and prayers are with the families. I am in agony over this whole ordeal," end quote. He is being charged with, again, those 3 counts of reckless homicide, and we will continue to follow that developing story.
The time now is 6:34, and the push to connect guns to the people pulling the trigger is key to police efforts to solve and cut violent crimes. Weapons that police recover are sent to the Marion County Crime Lab here in Indianapolis. In 2019, the lab processed 3,124 weapons. In 2018, it was 2,796 weapons. Through a number of forensic tests, detectives are alerted if a gun used in a crime is connected to another. In the past, that information could take weeks. Now the results can come back as quickly as 48 hours.
We believe over the next couple years it's going to drastically reduce some of the gun violence in our community.
The work of the Crime Gun Intelligence Center has led to 339 arrests connected to 254 weapons.
Leaders of the union representing police officers in Indianapolis say they are trying to put forth solutions to solve the problem of violent crime. RTV6 spoke with the president of the Fraternal Order of Police. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with what he had to say. Kelsey.
Hey, good morning, Meredith. So yeah, Rick Snyder, the president of the Fraternal Order of Police, says that just in 2020 alone, so that's 7 days, we've already had 3 murders in Indianapolis. And he says he doesn't see that crime slowing down or getting any better without big changes. So he is recommending some changes made for the lawmakers. And one of those is to establish a commission on criminal justice outcomes so bond policies can be reviewed and those accused of violent crimes will stay behind bars. He also wants the city to look at the juvenile justice system to put mandates on the number of jail beds in Marion County to prevent overcrowding, and he believes creating a public database to track criminal histories will help to curb the violence.
Over the Christmas holiday, Christmas week and New Year's week, these are the numbers. We had 33 people shot, 14 stabbed, and 7 people killed. Of the 7 killed, 2 were babies and 2 were women. That's just in the last 2 weeks alone, when everybody else was slowing down and they were on vacation and taking a break. Violence takes no vacation, as you can see.
According to Snyder, in just the last 2 months of 2019, 153 people were shot or stabbed in Indianapolis. Now, yesterday, Snyder had a meeting with Governor Eric Holcomb that he says went well. And then today, he will present the facts of what's going on in our city to lawmakers as they are in the 2020 legislative session. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
All right, Kelsey, thank you so much. Well, a new-looking city-county council held its first meeting on Monday. Democrats flipped 6 seats in the November election, giving them a 20-5 advantage in control of that council. This group of councilors includes 4 members of the LGBTQ community, which is a historic first for the city. Monday's meeting included the re-election of Bob Ossoly as the council president.
They are working again at the State House next, the beginning of the legislative session, and an education topic that will be top priority.
And he's decided to stay put, not to seek the highest office in the state. Up next, the reason this lawmaker made his decision well ahead of the Indiana primary. The time now, 6:37, and you're watching Good Morning Indiana.
Keller and Keller.
Welcome back, and it's back to business at the Indiana State House. Lawmakers are working on new legislation over the next 10 weeks here in our state, and the Republican supermajority is talking about its priorities for the new year.
One proposal that will not likely cause too much controversy has to do with education. Republican lawmakers say they want to make sure schools and teachers are not penalized for last year's low iLearn test scores. House Speaker Brian Bosma says he believes standardized testing is important, but it's important to get it right.
It has to be prompt, Results have to be reported promptly to teachers and parents and administrators. It has to be fiscally responsible, and it has to be effective. We all acknowledged, everyone acknowledged, that when a new set of standards and testing is put into place, there's going to be a drop in scores.
The state switched to iLearn from iStep last year. The top Democratic representative is criticizing the proposal. Representative Phil Giaquinta says, quote, "This is a short-term fix to a long-term problem in our state. We've spent $133 million on standardized tests in the past 2 years and do not have much to show for it," end quote.
In more state politics, Indiana Senator Eddie Melton is now out of the race for governor. The Democrat from Gary announced that he is dropping out to devote his time to his work as a state senator instead of campaigning. Melton began his campaign back in October and was the third candidate to join the race. The two other Democratic candidates, former state health commissioner Dr. Woody Myers and tech executive Josh Owens, are still in the race for the Democratic nomination.
Well, Governor Holcomb is honoring late Holocaust survivor Eva Kor with a day to teach more people about her story. He signed a proclamation Monday announcing January 27th, 2020 to be Eva Education Day here in Indiana. That's also the 75th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz. Kor dedicated most of her life to educating people about the Holocaust after she survived medical experiments in Nazi concentration camps. She created a museum in Terre Haute and led multiple tours of camps in Europe. Kor passed away this past July.
A major earthquake this morning in Puerto Rico. We're still getting information on the quake that happened overnight. Coming up, what we know so far about the extent of the damage.
Only on RTV6, we're about to find out who is the greatest of all time. I think it's either Lauren or Lissa or, Meredith or Todd or even Mrs. Sanchez. But our conversation with three legends of Jeopardy as they get set to find out who indeed is the best. Again, my vote, Alyssa, you're among the top 5.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. And we are among one of the top 5 days in our forecast. Temperatures will be well above average today. We're going to see a steep drop down tomorrow, back into close to 60 degrees. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday comes with a price, though. I'll have those details coming up next. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. We are still monitoring a traffic alert right now for drivers to our northwest. Here is a live look at the backup on the southbound lanes of I-65 near the Hendricks County line. We have a crash blocking the right lane as you approach 86th Street there on the northwest side, causing the delays. One person was transported to the hospital. We'll continue to monitor this, but plan ahead if this is part of your commute.
The time now is 6:45. New images now coming into the newsroom as we continue to follow breaking news out of Puerto Rico. A 6.4 magnitude earthquake struck Puerto Rico before noon today, and that was followed by an aftershock that measured 6.0. We're told that's by the city of Ponce there on the Caribbean island. A series of quakes have struck the U.S. territory in recent days. Just in, we've learned that at least 8 people were injured, again in the city of Ponce, which is near the quake's epicenter. Puerto Rico's power authority says one of the country's main power plants, which sits near the epicenter, has been damaged, but officials expect to restore power to the island later today.
And that's not all. We are also following breaking news out of Iran this morning. That is where the Iran state television reports 32 people were killed in a stampede during the funeral for Iranian commander Qasem Soleimani. He was killed in a U.S. airstrike last week. Iran also says 190 other people were injured in the stampede. You are looking at a live picture from the funeral services, which continue at this hour. Iranian television reports the funeral drew nearly 1 million people to the country's capital.
The time now is 6:47, and starting tonight only on RTV6, we get to find out who is the best. They're the best to me. Ever, though, on the TV show, game show Jeopardy.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I would fare well against these three. At stake for 3 legendary champions is bragging rights and another $1 million on top of all that other prize money they've won while dominating their competition.
Yes, so guys, I actually had the chance to talk to those 3 champs, James, Ken, and Brad, yesterday. I asked them, how do you get ready for a big event competing against the best of the best?
I'm 15 years older than I was when I started playing Jeopardy, and you know, the recall's starting to go a little bit. So I need rehearsal, I need practice, and I'm intimidated by younger players like James. So I watched a lot of tape of him to see, you know, what his strategies were and you know, what I could pick up about his style of play that I could use.
And James, you had a big strategy when you were on the show. Is that something you used in this Greatest of All Time, or did you try to switch it up a little bit? I mean, these guys are some pretty tough contenders.
Oh, you mean how I played dirty? Yeah, that was a good approach, especially when you're ramping up the level of competition here. You'll have to tune in to find out, but I think we know how I'm going to play this.
A steel chair's involved.
James is going to Tanya Harding us between games.
Oh my goodness. Well, talk to me a little bit about what it's like having the three of you guys in one room. What do you talk about when you're together? Have you guys kind of, become friends through this whole crazy scenario?
There is a lot of camaraderie up there, which is weird considering there's $1 million in bragging rights at stake. But it's just such a small group of people who I think we know understand what it's like to be up there and have the pressure of those Jeopardy tournaments. So we have a lot in common, and we like each other.
Yeah, and we were just talking about the French language laws in Quebec for 10 minutes. And, you know, these are two of the only people who will not just walk out of the room when I'm talking about that. So it's a very bonding experience.
Brad taught us how to say email in Quebec, which is very important if you're ever in Quebec and you want to talk about email.
Brad is an Eagles fan, so I've just been trolling him about that today.
They weren't going anywhere anyway. It's okay. That's what I'm telling myself.
Well, Jeopardy, the greatest of all time. The series is a series of 1-hour shows. That is, it all starts at 8 o'clock only on RTV6. And I got to tell you guys, sitting with those three, I mean, I felt smarter just being able to have a conversation with them.
See, I was hoping that you would have asked them something, just like threw them a question about something just so obscure.
I feel like I couldn't even think that far into a difficult. I feel like they'd be like, "Oh, that's easy."
Yeah, probably.
So crazy.
All right, well. Who is doing our weather today?
Who?
Or I guess, I did that wrong. I did that backwards.
We can't even get the questions right.
Were you trying to play Jeopardy just
I was.
She's out of the $1 million. But
I'm out.
You are worth $1 million, Alyssa Donovan. What's that forecast?
Thanks, Rob. Yeah, good recovery there. We are going to see a pretty nice day today. Mild and breezy conditions. We are going to be above average once again, but don't get used to it. We are dropping off tomorrow, and then we are seeing quite a bit of rain in the forecast. We're staying dry through tomorrow and much of Thursday before we see quite a bit of rainfall coming at us Thursday night into Friday and into Saturday. So much rain that we do have the potential for some flooding by the weekend. This morning, as you head out the door, it's going to be quiet, cloudy, and a little bit chilly outside. Temperatures into the low 30s across the area. We'll climb quickly, though, today. What's going on is we have some cloud coverage to start from that disturbance that moved through yesterday, and that's going to clear out very quickly. So we are going to see clear skies by the afternoon. High pressure is going to take control later today, which will clear out that cloud coverage. And then we are also going to see those clear skies overnight tonight, which means we will be cooler by tomorrow morning. We're going to see some breezy conditions today with those winds out of the west about 15 miles per hour. Those will shift out of the northwest by tomorrow morning, which will help usher in some of that cooler air as well overnight. So by tomorrow, we're starting a little bit colder than we're starting today. So if you think it's chilly outside when you step out this morning, you definitely want to bundle up tomorrow, because we're going to drop about 5 to 10 degrees across the area depending on where you are, especially for those northern counties where we'll just be into the low 20s. Next, we turn to our Thursday. What's going on is this is the first of 2 systems that will impact us over a 3-day period. The first one is just to the north of us, and that's going to come in late Thursday afternoon. That will bring us widespread rain showers. These will be light showers on Thursday and also some gusty winds. By Friday, we turn to the south. We have another low pressure system set up, and that's dragging some of that tropical moisture in from the Gulf. That's going to push across Indianapolis Friday evening and into the day Saturday, overnight Saturday, possibly even lingering into early Sunday morning. What we're going to see with that is heavy rainfall, periods of heavy rain expected throughout the day on Saturday. And then as the system pushes out, we have the potential of some light snow showers late Saturday and into early Sunday morning. Not expecting accumulation from that, but we are expecting quite a bit of rainfall to accumulate as these systems move through. Looking ahead, we do have just two systems that are two models rather that look that far out, and we're looking at anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. So that means the potential for some localized flooding, especially along streams and rivers. So if you live near any of those, just be aware you will see some local flooding if we do see 2 to 4 inches of rainfall, which is expected at this point. Taking a look at today, starting in the 20s this morning, we'll see those breezy conditions out of the west up to 15 to 20 miles per hour. And then we are going to see those highs into the mid 40s, about 10 degrees above average today. So it's going to be a nice day, and we'll see that sunshine. Tomorrow, sunny skies, but a cooler day starting in the lower 20s, only climbing into the mid 30s by the afternoon. Rain showers come in late Thursday, sticking with us Friday, Saturday, and early Sunday.
All right, Alyssa, I want to take you back up to the northwest side of town where we are monitoring a crash with injury. We know at least one person was transported from a wreck that happened near 86th Street on southbound I-65. This is in the Dog Lake area. Traffic is backed up. As you can see, we have a right lane closure a little farther south from here. You can see the back of it stretching past I-865 heading up towards State Road 267. So just give yourself plenty of extra time if you're traveling in this direction. Of course, we'll keep you updated, but right now I want to take you over to the east side. Live look from our live drive vehicle, I-70 and I-465. Traffic here for your east side commute is traveling up to speed. Time right now is 6:53. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Visit the Hiring Hoosiers job board.
Watch your step, but don't close your eyes. Take deep breaths, but don't blow your high or mine. We all been working and like overtime.
Raptors did not have to work overtime to avoid their first 3-game losing streak of the season. TJ Warren had a season high 36 points as Indiana held on to beat Charlotte 115 to 104. The Pacers back home at the Fieldhouse tomorrow night to take on the Miami Heat. All right, well, there's no heat in our forecast. It is a little warmer than it typically is this time of year, though.
We're about 10 degrees above average. If you enjoyed yesterday afternoon, you'll enjoy today, too, because it's almost a repeat. We'll climb into the mid 40s today. A little bit breezier outside, those winds out of the west, but we'll see sunshine this afternoon, starting a little cloudy this morning. Sunny Wednesday as well, but it's going to be a cooler day. We're dropping about 10 degrees back to our average highs for this time of year, and then we are climbing way up Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. 60 degrees on Friday. We have the potential of rain showers.
All right, goodbye, guys. Thanks for joining.